going to VAR. They're checking.
Hey, guys.
Check complete. Let's head over to the bar.
Yo, what it do, my peoples? We're back again with another episode of the VARBAR podcast, episode 63. Everything is just slowly becoming back to normal. We've had a madness of the last month. What's everyone saying, man?
Active.
Out here, my G.
Yo.
Yo,
what's good?
We are good.
We active.
We're coming to, as Ken loves to say, the business end of the season.
And how we love it.
You start hearing, the transfer gossips. We've got Euros around the corner. Who's going to be making it onto the plane? So don't worry, guys. Even though the season's ending soon, we've got content for you waiting. It's going to be a mad one. It's going to be a big summer. It's going to be a big summer for the VARBAR law. As always, guys, please keep giving us love on the social media. So the Twitter, the Insta, Spotify, Apple Music, and more importantly, guys, we're making a presence on YouTube. So please show us some love on there. But without further ado, hey, let's get it started. We're going to go straight into the games. And, some teams are still in Europe. Some teams are already out of Europe. Some teams got knocked out of Europe. So, yeah, we're going to start with my boys that had a devastating exit by our former manager. Like, you can't make this up, man. Tosin, come, chat to me, man. What's going on? Shalom, Tabo, Mitchell, you, man. What the hell?
Good evening. Arsenal, good evening, and good evening told you to fuck off, man. I love it. I love those storylines, man.
It's a joke. Like, you can't write this, but it only happens to Arsenal. But Percy Leeds goes on to score against us. It happens. Adebayor's going to get. It happens to Arsenal, man. You know what? Are we that surprised?
I can't lie. I was surprised.
You know what? Let me go to Prez quickly, because Prez, you actually were giving props to Arsenal, thinking they could get out of this second leg fixture and make it to the final. There's been back and forths with managers, Arteta and Ole. For you, what's next for Arsenal and Arteta, man? Like, it was a devastating defeat, as we all know, getting knocked out of the Europa League. People were saying the biggest game of the season, and we've fallen at the last hurdle.
Yeah, man. I mean, as my boy Toast has said in previous episodes, man, I think it's time for Arteta to start picking the hearse, man, to steal his phrase. I think this was, as you say, a big game, biggest game of the season for Arsenal and the boys, and he has fallen short. And league performance shows that not much is going on there either, sitting at ninth. So this was really the big moment for Arteta to kind of save the season, get back into Europe, and build again next season. But he's not been able to do that, and I think there's really nothing left. Especially the feeling I get from Arsenal fans, also, like, there's nothing left for him to do at Arsenal. I think he's kind of signed his death warrant.
It's not called Arteta, it's called Artekkers, bro. Artekkers.
Artekkers, man.
Forget that, innit? Because that's what certain man were telling me early in the season.
R.I.P. Artekkers, man.
So good point there, Prez. Like, for me as an Arsenal fan, I really feel we lost it in the first leg. A man tries to do false nine for a cover down a false nine. Shalom, would you agree that we lost it in the first leg, or did you think we could have turned it around?
I think we had the opportunities to turn around the second leg. In fact, we should have turned it around, but we didn't. You would have expected the game we had on the first leg, because you would have expected the home team to give you more of a game, which they did. But we didn't turn up in the first leg. But we're lucky enough to get a penalty. We converted it. We have an away goal. Cool. We go to the Emirates. And essentially my take from that game is experience literally beat Arteta. Because if you watched the first game, I think Unai clocked that we were killing them on the wings. So what he did, which was very smart, is that he shut us off at the wings and we were just toothless.
He doubled up on the wingers.
He doubled up on the wingers and we were toothless. Yes, Arteta would say Xhaka missing was a big, I guess, chunk in our team. But you would have felt like a more experienced manager would have galvanized your team to play for the semi-final, the second leg, because it's the biggest game of our season, and the players didn't look like they were up for it. And so you have to give it to Unai, because it was a masterclass, and Arsenal just played to him. There's nothing you can do, and I used to be a big fan of Arteta. After seeing that, I think he let me down. And
You know what's funny, yeah? You know what's funny when when Arteta newly signed for Arsenal, I saw people tweeting, not none of us by the way, but just other Arsenal fans. I saw people tweeting like, I can't wait till the next Arsenal game because of Arteta. And now look, man. It is in the space of 8 months, bro. It's nuts.
He really pulled the wool over our eyes, to be honest.
I've got a question for you, actually. Do you actually think it was a masterclass from Emery, or was it just the team, our team?
The players didn't put any effort, man.
It was a masterclass because of this. Emery recognized the weakness and then played in a way to counteract Arsenal's attacking threat, because we had Pepe, we had Saka, and they all got shut down. So okay, that's done. What's the next thing? Our midfield is lacking. So he played well. It was a masterclass from him.
Agreed.
So,
one shot on target though.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I'd personally disagree with that. I don't.
They don't need to. This is what you don't
They
understand.
didn't need to come all guns blazing.
They literally controlled the game, and that's all they had to do. They were not good enough.
I don't think they even did that. It wasn't a stroke of genius. It wasn't a case of he put by a team that was like, we're going to counteract Arsenal's, what Arsenal do well. Arsenal just were, excuse my French, we were just shit. Both games, it was poor, lethargic. There wasn't anything in midfield. There wasn't anything coming from out wide. We were crossing the ball.
Mitch, what you're saying is, instead of a masterclass, it was more of Villarreal.
It was a disaster class. It was a disaster class from our end. And I genuinely think that people are saying, "Oh, Emery did this." Yeah, Emery is a good coach. He's a very good coach. I will say that. But just for the sheer, there wasn't any. You know what? When you're a footballer, what you should have first is heart. That's it. And there was no heart from any of the players. Tactics come out the window at that. And when it comes to certain games, tactics come out the window. I can understand that, but there it wasn't tactics. That was pure just lack of conviction. We had one shot on target the whole game at home. You can't tell me that's because they were defending well. They weren't. They weren't the greatest defensive team.
That's very poor. I think Tosin, you've sent Mikel Arteta a discount code for funeral services. Do you think this is the end for him now, or can he save things for himself?
Man, all I'm gonna say is I'll be with my suit at the funeral, making sure he's in the ground, innit, man? Because
with them other pallbearers dancing,
with the other pallbearers dancing, you feel me? It's because honestly, it's honestly one of the most disgusting performances I've ever seen. Like for me to support a football team in a European semi-final with. This is your season. Like, forget the league. You're in 9th or 10th place. Like, you need to win this game to get to a final to play in Europe next season, because chances are we're not going to play in Europe next season. And the team couldn't muster up more than one shot on target. I mean, like, there's getting pammed, getting beaten by the better team. There's getting like tactically out masterclass, and then there's literally just limping out of the tournament. That's all how I can describe it. Like, we limped out of the tournament, one shot on target. We didn't score a goal. It's just horrible, man. Like Arteta, like, I give him credit for what he did at the end of last season, but we can clearly see he's been given a full season. That was a facade, whatever you want to call it, man. It's just absolutely unacceptable. Arteta needs to be gone. Like, he has no business at Arsenal Football Club any longer. I'm sorry. Emery got sacked. And he was 1 point off 4th place. I've done the research the other day. He was 1 point off 4th place when he got sacked. But because the level of the performances weren't acceptable and pressure from the fans, he got sacked. Mikel Arteta, after a full season, is what? 11, 12 points off the top 4. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like, get this man out of my football club, please.
Tabo, obviously, after that devastating result, the club had to bounce back. And, yeah, we did that against West Brom. Should be a game to win. How impressed were you, though, from our youngsters that have, sadly, and it's just embarrassing to say, have been carrying us this season?
Man, you know how it goes. We're happy for Smith Rowe, happy for Saka. They're obviously progressing, but I think someone also hit the nail on the head in the chat, maybe, talking about us relying on these guys. There might be a bit of burnout from them as well. So I don't know, man. I feel like the senior players just need to fix up, and there's no pride from the Arsenal boys. Just to echo what the guy said, that performance against Villarreal was shocking and unbelievable. To play like that, and we needed a goal, and they just looked so relaxed, like we were going through. It was just, man. Sorry, I've lost my head right here on the pod.
There's still a mentality in the club that like things are just given to us. All we got to do is turn up at the Emirates. Like that's not been the case for like a year now. Like I don't know why the mentality is so poor. Like we couldn't even score a goal at home in a all or nothing game. It's one shot on target.
There was just no effort, bro.
No shot on target in the second half, man, of a go home game. Shocking.
Yeah. Our home form, which has carried us in the past seasons, it's been awful. And I don't know, maybe that's because not having fans, but things have really got to change. And, some of you guys are calling for Arteta out. Who knows what the club will decide? And as we all know, not just at Arsenal, there's many discussions happening about our owners. So, yeah, man, it's crazy. But keep. We'll see how it goes on for Arsenal. As Prez said, we're currently 9th. It'll be interesting to see where we do end up finish. People will say we're going to be 11th, whatever. It's just like I've been saying since January. Let's just finish at a respectable position. But moving on to our noisy neighbours, we like to just welcome back our very own Stryder.
Let's clap him in, boys. Let's clap him in.
It's good to have you back, Calvin. They know to say, man's obviously been playing international for his country. They'll only say catch flights, not feelings, but it seems you've been catching both. Last time we may have spoke to you, it was leading up, because we have to rewind it, and I'm sorry. I think it was just before your Carabao Cup final. Jose was still your manager. Boy, a lot's happened since then, but let's just touch on that final quickly, if you don't mind. What happened, my guy?
Do we really have to do this?
We need to hear from Tottenham perspective. We didn't hear you.
Yeah. Right, but in a nutshell, man, I'm sure I listened to the pod and you, man, covered it a little bit, but we just bottled it again. We done what Tottenham do. We didn't turn up. Biggest game of our season, and we never looked like we were even going to score, let alone win. So we got outclassed by a better team. It could have been 3 or 4. Of course, there was a controversy with Laporte. He should have been sent off, but at the end of the day, on the balance of play, it should have been way more than 1-0, man. So disappointing. Like, looking back, was it the right decision to get rid of Jose? I was one of the people that wanted him out, but then that was what he was brought in to do, win us a cup. So mixed emotions, really. But I guess the resounding feeling was just disappointment yet again, and that the man them just let me down, man.
And since then, Calvin, things have been a bit up and down with you. So obviously, thank you for your post-match review of that. The last recent game was Leeds, man. Boy, we all know Leeds are top quality side with Bielsa leading the line. We all didn't expect that result, man. What happened there, bro?
It just looked like a team that had nothing left to play for, really. I know we beat Sheffield United the week before, but they're bottom of the league. They're getting beat by everyone. Leeds were just better than us on the day. They're fitter, stronger, more desire, outplayed us. I think Mason was brave. He tried to play Son and Bale quite high and hit on the counter-attack, but the amount of times they were getting overloads down the sides and they were punishing us. We just weren't good enough on the day. Obviously disappointing, but we're not going to get top 4. The best we can hope for is Europa League, but I don't even know if I want that either. I'm on the fence of let's just be out of Europe altogether and just have a painful rebuild in the summer, because realistically, if we're in the Europa League, it's an additional game, and are we going to win it anyway? Probably not. There are so many problems at my club, from the players to I'm going to say the manager, but it's not his fault. He's obviously been thrown into a situation. Obviously, the board, Levy, Enick. There's just so many problems, man. Like, the thing needs to be stripped from top to bottom, and then we need to rebuild. So,
as you mentioned there, so just butt in there. So, what's the next change? Because you're saying it's not the manager. Do you sort your manager out first, or do you sort your team first? Like, what's going to happen? Because I mean, to add like fuel to the fire, we've all heard the statement. Supposedly, Harry Kane has said, if you don't make top 4 Champions League, he wants to leave. Like, what is next for Tottenham right now?
Like, we are in disarray. Like, I can't even. Obviously, we know Mason's not good enough for the job. He's been brought in on an interim basis. In terms of manager, every man and their dog is turning us down. From Ten Hag, Rodgers, we've been linked with. I see we were linked with Conte. Who wants to come to Tottenham? Who wants to come to this club? I think it was a topic we had beforehand. Is Tottenham a poison chalice? I think it kind of is. Like, who would want, in their right man, would want to come to Spurs right now? Because you got to do a mad rebuild. Maybe. But you got to do a mad rebuild. You got to spend a load of money that you're not going to get, and your best players leaving, and then other players may follow. So, first things first, you've got to get a manager in place. We've got to obviously try and keep hold of Harry Kane. I don't know if that's going to be possible. And then we've got to get rid of all the deadwood. Your Eric Dyers, Ben Davis, Sanchez, Aurier. Strip the whole team completely and just like rebuild from there. There are so many players in teams in the Premier League and playing for lesser opposition that would love a chance to come to Spurs. So just rebuild and start again, man.
Some big words there. Do you reckon that rebuild money would come potentially from whatever you sell Kane? If you sell Kane?
I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, if we were to sell Kane, we would have a lot of money to reinvest into the squad, and we may have no choice in doing so because obviously he's come out and said he wants to play in the Champions League and win trophies, but no club wants to lose their best player, so it's a tough one. Like, I would try first to get rid of the dead wood, see how much money we can raise from doing that, and then go from there. But if we have to sell Kane, then we have to sell him, innit? Like, no player is bigger than the club, and we've seen with Liverpool when they sold Coutinho, sometimes selling your best player can end up you having success. So we'll wait and see, man. But it's a big summer for Tottenham coming up.
All right. As I mentioned there, Bielsa did a masterclass performance, and we don't always like to talk about our own clubs, but you know, sometimes we've got to give praise to other clubs. And I have to say, from what I saw, Leeds played so good. Jake, I know you caught a bit of the game. How did you take Leeds' performance?
Well, Leeds are fantastic. Like, I genuinely, like, as much as a Chelsea fan can, love watching Leeds. I think pound for pound, they're one of the best like drilled teams in the league. Like, you think the higher up teams have got star power to get them through their games, but Leeds, like I'm saying, they're relentless. As a team, they all press together, they all play together. Their style of play to watch, just from a neutral's perspective, is fantastic. And yeah, against Spurs, they just continued to show that. They were a much more coordinated team, and their big players pulled it out, like Bamford getting that tap in. I mean, they were ripping Spurs apart left, right, and centre. Like, it was fantastic to watch. Watching Spurs be tragic is a favourite pastime of mine. But no, honestly, like, I continue to be impressed by them. I don't think they're going to be a threat of relegation. You know, when teams normally come up, like you think of Sheffield last year, you could maybe make the argument they were one-trick pony. Whereas I think this Leeds team, they show a lot more ambition, especially on the ball and off the ball, to be fair, how high they press and how much they press. Like, they don't give up. You see most teams these days, they'll do it for, 15, 20 minutes, and then they'll let up. Leeds don't do it will press you for 90. So I think they're definitely going to be staying up next year, and I think they're going to be looking to progress like a Wolves.
Well, you say progress, Jake, and I want to also add an additional question to yourself and possibly Liverpool fans, not so much United. There are strong rumours that some Premier League clubs are eyeing up Patrick Bamford. I mean, without causing offence, Jake, because I know you've heard a lot of people say, "Is it time for Werner to be replaced already?" Would you take Bamford?
We already had Bamford,
or take him back, I should say.
Didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
he signed a contract extension, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
well, everyone has their price, don't they, at the end of the day? But no, I wouldn't take Bamford. Like, you look at his big chance ratio, and I think he's like 40%. Now, don't get me wrong, Werner's only like 22. Like, he's not lighting the world on fire. But Bamford isn't doing amazing things either. Like, I think he's very much the guy that you sign if you're a club, let's say like Chelsea, United, Liverpool, or even like City to a certain degree, where you sign him as your backup. And I don't think Bamford needs that. Like Sean says, he's re-signed his contract. I think he's very much going to stay unless someone who buys him goes, yeah, you're going to be our starting number 9. So, no, I don't think
Spurs might take a chance, you know.
I think Leeds is absolutely his level, to be honest. I
agree.
He could really translate any better than like a 9th or 10th in the league, if I'm honest.
Jake, watching the Madrid game, I was thinking Benzema to Chelsea. I think he will fit your team.
Oh, don't. I'd love him. But I guess we'll talk about Chelsea in a while.
I mean, we're going to stay with you, Jake, innit? So let's just go straight into it, man. Like, you're probably still in cloud 9. How you feeling, bro? It's been a mad week for your club.
My team is officially back to being elite. We ripped Madrid apart. No, we did. Like that, there was nothing to be fair. I said last week I hadn't seen a game where Kroos and Modric were that ineffective. I now have to double down on that statement because my God, they were nothing. They were just outplayed completely. It was like Tuchel says before nearly every game now, Kante, when you're playing with him, you've got 1.5 men, 2 men. He was ridiculous. Without him, neither goal gets set up. And you think we beat them, 2-0? We should have beat them 5-0. It was disgusting how much we were all over them. Don't get me wrong, our finishing was appalling, and that really needs to be sorted out if we're going to win anything this season. But it was absolutely outrageous how much we made Real Madrid the greatest European club in history. I think there were 6 Champions League winners in that squad. Looked like they were Sunday League team.
Yeah.
It was I haven't seen us play like that since Conte's first season, where we were just all over a team. Like I said, Kante was brilliant. Jorginho made 6 interceptions. He was fantastic. You know, Havertz, he was pulling Sergio Ramos everywhere he didn't want to be. Mendy, 2 amazing, well, 1 really good save, 1 very good save on Benzema. It was fantastic. We made them look absolutely right. I can't say enough good things about that Madrid game. I really can't. I'll be here for days.
Jake, so going back to Tom's question there, what would you say then about taking, if there was a chance to get Benzema, because he's just aging like fine wine?
I think you have to take him. I think you'd have to take him because he is like fantastic. Like, he showed in that game. And in the first leg, definitely, you give him an ounce of space, he can take advantage of it. He has still got that quality in abundance. I think in the Premier League, where it's a lot more physical, I don't think he'd be able to start every game. But I think you're thinking now, Cavani's impact at United, I think you could beat that without a doubt. So I'd definitely take him. But I don't think we're going to go for him personally. But, I mean, if he's on the table, you can't sit there and ignore it. That's the way I'd say it.
So, as Chelsea at the moment, as they stand, what, you're 3rd or 4th in the league?
You're 3rd because Leicester are starting their bottle job again.
Yeah, so you're 3rd in the league. You've got an FA Cup final coming up. You've now got a Champions League final coming up. Andy, I know you've been praising him. You've got your flowers ready for him. How well are we going to rate Tuchel? I mean, even if he doesn't win those finals, but still, like, what are we saying?
Nah,
must he win those finals?
For me, he has to win them, man. But I'm already on the cusp of saying that Chelsea done amazing business and very, very proactive in getting rid of Lampard as soon as Tuchel became available. You can clearly see that he's like, you know, I wasn't too sure about him, but now that I'm seeing Chelsea and what he's been doing with them, tactically he's one of the top managers in the world, man. I can honestly say he can easily rub shoulders with Guardiola and Klopp easily. So Chelsea actually got one, and you know, if he keeps going, he can actually become a Chelsea legend, man. But like I said, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until until it's all said and done, and then yeah, man. I got a big flowers for Mr. Wisey's manager, man.
Yeah,
So-
Drew. Sorry, Mooney. He looks like he fits Chelsea. I'm not sure if anyone can see that. He looks like this is his team. So I'm getting really good vibes from Tuchel at Chelsea. So yeah, it looks good for
man,
Chelsea.
Chelsea looks scary, man. Not
scary.
Not in the sense of like I don't know, like on a City level, but just in a sense of like on a tactical flex, they can hurt you.
I think it's finally
you don't know what 11 they're gonna play. You don't know how they're gonna play. You just know Conte is gonna be moving mad, and then the rest, you just fill them in, and it's
I don't know, because like the way they're finishing this season, if they start like this next season, they could really be challenging for the title. And obviously, Jake, we don't want to put words into your mouth just yet, like they did earlier this season, but I wouldn't put it past him. And Shalom, I really do get where you're coming from. Like you see it after the game, how he is with the players. He's just fitted in so well, as Andy has said. So for you, Jake, how do you see your next two finals going? Obviously, Leicester first, and then Man City.
Favourite for the FA Cup final. I think we should win that. I think Leicester at the minute are just capitulating massively. They're defensively, they look like an absolute shambles. Like for those that watched the Newcastle Leicester game, my God, Sionchu has gone from PFA player, in the PFA Team of the Year last year, and that game against Newcastle, he did not know his left from his right. He was
he's the criminal, that guy.
Yeah, he was absolutely awful. They're playing Luke Thomas, like Johnny Evans is now injured. It looks like he's going to be out for the final.
That's a very, very big deal for them. Very big deal.
And James Maddison, ever since he came back from his injury, he's not really recaptured his form. It's really been senior man's team for the last, month or 2 months. So I really think we should be winning that. Champions League final, I get where Drew's coming from in terms of not on the level of City, because City should be favourites for that. The way they've played, when they play their full squad, because even though we've beaten City the last 2 times we played them, we've not played their full squad. Don't get me wrong, we haven't played our full squad, but I can see where City's De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Riyad Mahrez, Gundogan, that combination up front is frightening.
No, Jake, don't get me wrong. What I meant was like on paper, City look dangerous because of the players, etc. But I think Chelsea is as dangerous, but obviously name-wise or like player-wise, you don't have the same. That's what I meant. But you've got all the chance to win the Champions League.
Oh
man.
no, I swear I was literally just about to lead to that. I think City will be favoured, but we're going to definitely create chances, and we are going to keep them. We're not going to make it easy on them, without a doubt. Like defensively, ever since Tuchel came in, we've been absolutely fantastic. Like we have, like Rudiger has been an absolute force.
Bro, that Rudiger remontada is mad.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking good.
He's actually looking good, He's a donk.
And he's playing with a broken jaw at the minute as well. So, like...
Shout out to you, Shaw, man.
Yeah. So,
Jake, you mentioned there, obviously, you're comparing yourself to some Man City players. I mean, following your Champions League victory, you did then go on to beat Man City in the league in what some were saying was the friendly before the big game. Now, how much do you take from that victory?
Pinch of salt. Like, don't get me wrong, we needed to win that, and it is a big thing. Like, my biggest thing was that even with all the changes from both squads, I haven't seen Pep play a back five in God knows how long. Going into his home ground and making him match our formation and doing it horrifically. Like City were like, they basically abandoned Rodri in the centre of midfield and hoped for the best with that really misfiring front four. And they weren't good at all from my point of view, especially in the second half.
Jake, with context, Aguero buries that, it's game over, right? With a bit of context.
Let's talk about that. Like, what the hell?
Right, I will just answer that point first. I get your context, but out of those, 3 minutes in which we were down to 10 men?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. That's the flow of the game, right?
No, I think they were really good in the first half.
I thought they were good in the first half of where I know you're saying Rodri struggled. In the first half, I think Rodri had his slippers out. I thought he was brilliant. But then in the second half, your team came out guns blazing and were brilliant. But yeah, it is what it is.
I don't know if I understand the opinion, but I thought we were much better than City. I really do. Outside those 5 minutes where, well, not sorry, 5 minutes, more like 3 minutes, where Christensen was off the pitch and we didn't make the substitute. Like, you are right. If Aguero decides he's going to not Panenka, and actually decides he's going to take a proper penalty, then it is game over. That's absolutely fair. But yeah, I don't actually mind the penalty. I really don't. Like, Aguero doesn't give a shit anymore. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. If he buries it, it's genius. He misses. It happens, man. But can't at Aguero, man. Go.
I'm sorry, but
well.
You have to at him. Like, what the hell was that?
For me, it's one of them where, like, for a player like on Aguero's level, he's probably because before. For me, it's like this can happen. Everyone misses penalties. This can happen.
The reason I said well is because there's certain men that were atting him hard, and I'm not going to say
speak up then.
names, man. I was going to say that was why I said well in it, because there were severe acts going his way, almost pissing on his legacy. It felt like.
It's been the goat, man.
Yeah, I remember. Call him up, bro. Call him up. Quick 2 minutes.
Hey, listen, no comment. So we're going to move on to Man United, the Red Devils. Another very big week for you guys, and a big week ahead. As you know, your fans who protested in your ground to postpone the Liverpool match has only made it harder for you guys, as you have a game week of 3 games. However, so far so good. You progressed through to the finals of the Europa League. I mean, you killed it off in the first leg, and then you got a very, very good dub against Aston Villa. And now you got Leicester coming up. And who's your game after Leicester? Oh, Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah. So,
they're paying the kiss for Leicester and giving us the big boys for against us. They ain't this.
Prez, I mean, let's go back to that Europa League victory. I mean, it was all said and done. However, I think you and Char weren't so happy in how you performed, in the way you conceded. How do you feel about going towards the final against Villarreal?
I feel confident. Obviously, that away leg against Roma, the less that said, the better. I think
man, Loki got peppered, man.
I can't lie to you. There were spells within that game, especially second half, probably for about 10 minutes, where it was moments of madness, man. Defensively, we looked a completely different team than we did from the first leg in the first half. Even I think Ole decided to switch to 2 fullbacks, brought on Brandon Williams and Alex Telles. I think I've expressed my opinion enough about Brandon Williams. I don't think he's good enough to be in the first team. And he showed a lot of his inexperiences on that left-hand side when they started pumping in crosses. He was just getting spun for fun, if I'm honest. And a lot of the crosses coming in from that side led to big chances for Roma, which some of them they actually put away. And we end up losing the game. Obviously, we had moments in the game where, obviously Cavani's goal, Bruno's pass was brilliant. I feel like first half, we had that kind of mindset we were talking about earlier, walking into a game as if you've already won it. I mean, I know we were coming in comfortably after a great performance in the first leg, but it would have just been nice to kind of really put them to the sword and just kill the tie completely. Whereas conversely, we had moments where we were sweating a little bit. But yeah, we got the job done and went on to the final, which I'm pleased about. First final for Ole and all that. Villarreal, tricky team. It looks like they're going to be without Chukwueze though. Through injury, he went down pretty hard, left on a stretcher against Arsenal, and obviously he's one of their bigger threats. But definitely not going in, thinking it's going to be a cakewalk. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Mitchell, I mean, you see what, at the start of the season, we were having the talk about Arteta and Ole. Now, you're seeing what United are doing, a serious club. Do you still feel the same about how you were at in Ole back at the start of the season?
I want to hear Mitch say United are a serious club.
He's already said it though. He's admitted it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna say, are United a serious club or blah blah. Obviously, this season's shown a lot of Arteta's inexperience and just how badly run our club is.
Get it out, fella.
How other clubs, to be fair, I would say other clubs have run so much better than us. Not just managerial positions, owners, buying of players, selling of players. We're just a shambles all over. So I think it runs through the whole club with us. Whereas United have always been a well-run club. The owners are quite vigilant, and they will spend money. The owners will spend money. So yeah, I think that obviously it's a little bit easier. I think for Oli, that's just my opinion. I think if you put Arteta in a team like,
is this what Mike? You gave him the mic to say this? Get out of here.
Let him finish.
That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I would never admit that United or Ollie's better than Arteta. I can't, because I genuinely think Arteta is spectacular. I genuinely think that.
I want this pulled up on the socials, boy.
I'm just saying, because I really do. All
right, cool, man.
I know that's hurting two people right now. Bro, I'll never.
No, staying on you, my guy. Obviously, you then went on to get the dub against Villa. Two big games coming up. How do you see those next two results going? Andy's tried to make a jib saying you're going to put a week inside, but,
Yeah, I think Ollie's already alluded to it, to be honest. He's kind of spoke about the two youngsters in our youth academy sort of getting some minutes, and I think they will come on maybe against Liverpool, but I can see him doing the changes for Leicester, because you got to bear in mind, I think Leicester have their FA Cup final too, so they're going to be resting players. So it's probably the best opportunity to do so. So yeah, I'm confident. I reckon we will win against Leicester and draw against Liverpool, personally.
All right. Fair enough. Andy, why are you quick to jump on the boat and say they're going to rest their weakened side? Like, obviously, they want to apply small pressure to Man City, because technically Man City ain't won the league yet. So why do you assume that they're going to play weakened side?
Because obviously, not officially, but Man City has won the league. And obviously, Liverpool is United's biggest rival. So if they can help Leicester out by shutting down Liverpool, it's two flies in one hit, I guess. So
did anyone see Ole's comments after the win?
Yeah.
Hey, what you got to say to that, Char? Someone saying how the mighty have fallen.
What did he say?
He basically said, in short, we stopped Man City from winning the league for another week.
Bro, that's the only thing we can do, isn't it? I see what he's trying to do in the sense that he's just, trying to keep there's a form of motivation within the league. The reality is he knows that we're not going to win it, but I think he's almost playing at that whole concept of like staying motivated by keeping obviously City waiting.
I've got a question though. How do you United fans really look at City? Like, City are in the Champions League final. You guys are in the Europa League final. City are about to win the league. Like, how do you guys look at this? Because they're actually your City rivals. Like,
yeah, obviously I don't know on Prez's side, but for me, City don't. I think we're a few players short in terms of maybe challenging them for the league and in terms of a whole 38-game season. However, in terms of sort of man for man and player for player, I don't fear them anymore. A couple of years ago, I'd probably even say when towards the end of Alex Ferguson, when they started getting really good, even though we won the league when Van Persie scored that free kick, City were fearful. Like everyone was sort of scared of them. They had the good players, and then obviously throughout this whole period, they've obviously been a lot more dominant than we have. But now, like this season, when we play them, I think minus probably the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. City don't. I think, man, we can take we can take them on.
No. I'm not even talking about United City in an isolated game. Just City in terms of stature, they're like a bigger club than you guys now. In terms of
no, they're not a bigger club. They're a more successful club.
Hold on, successful club in terms of like they've lost the bigger trophies.
Yeah,
and United aren't. But how are you guys looking at it? That was my question.
But then we just have to start talking talking numbers, isn't it? Like we've got 13 trophies.
Channel, bro.
No, but that's the only thing we can go by.
Okay, let me say this. So let's say like when Tottenham reached the Champions League final, Arsenal fans were hurt. Is it the same case for United fans? That's basically what I'm trying to say. Or is it like you guys don't care about the?
No, because Arsenal fans haven't experienced winning the Champions League. We have. So even if City win it,
right, Munya, move on, man. He's not getting my thing, man.
I get it. You just don't have answers. Simple.
Nah, you're not answering my question.
I'm
trying to bring up ask me.
Sparring session. Let's stop this sparring session. Let's move on to your club, Kenna, Andy. Boy, what's really happening at Liverpool? No one really cares about you, man, at the moment now. Out of Europe, league form. I don't know where you man are. Just in the mixer. Showing up to be like one of the worst title defenses in Premier League history. You got the double against Southampton.
What's the question, fella? What's the question?
There's no question, bro. I'm just warming it up for our listeners. Like, what? There's not much to talk about you, man, but you got the double against Southampton. What's going on at your club, really? That's the question. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. Match got cancelled, That's it.
Kenna's really jumping at me. I'm just on a...
People are on edge, boy.
Fam, building up the scene. Like, we do this.
Certain man are not used to being the business end of the season and not having nothing to talk about. That's why.
Bro, we're just looking forward to next season. We're just looking forward to next season, man. We're not, we're just enjoying the ride of the other clubs in Europe and that. Chelsea,
okay,
United.
So, as Kenna was asking, what are the questions? Kenna, are you making top 4?
We'll see, man, innit?
Wow.
Oh, get off that fence, man.
It's
what happens to that? Yeah.
Nah.
We missed that one, Chuck.
Being real. We need 3 wins out of 4 games, to be fair. We need United to do us a favour. I never thought I'd say that for a while, Last time I said that is we needed them to beat City to win the league, and now we need them to beat Leicester for top 4.
That comes in far.
You man wouldn't actually believe it's the same season that Donnies were going,
Yeah.
Crazy. This is the same
by Christmas. That's what Mandem was saying.
They call that day and night.
What Thursday just said, you know how mad that is?
They call that day and night, man.
Same season.
Now, Andy, you know what? I was even deep in it this week. I was saying, I would even be happy to finish like 7th so we don't get that UEFA conference
thing, bro.
It's crazy, man.
What position gets that conference league? 6. Mad. Hey, let's finish 11th, boys.
The fall-off has been televised, boy.
I mean, yeah, we really need to ask, like, Kenna, Andy, what is next? Because I know, you're saying you could make top 4. You don't want that 6th position. You could get that 6th position.
I mean, top four is really not in our hands, man. So for me personally,
and mathematically and by numbers wise, yes, I agree. It's not in our hands, but it is in our hands because if you look at Leicester's running, what they have left, my God, if they get 3 out of 3 wins, what they have left,
but Kenna, that's fine, bro. But we will flop it against someone.
Oh yeah, but it's in our hands.
We'll lose to West Brom, bro.
No, and I agree, but it's in our hands. For me, if we win 3 out of the 4, if not 4 out of 4, we'll make the Champions League. But like you're saying, it's shaky, man, shaky.
Bring next season, man.
Yeah, we're here, man.
Bring next season.
I mean, I know we said we're coming to the end of the season where we start discussing transfers and whatnot. What changes need to happen? Because as I mentioned, you guys were the current champions and you've not been able to, retain it or at least, show some effort of retaining. What has to change at your club at the moment? Because you've been pointing fingers at Firmino and saying some of your big players haven't been turning up. Is that what it is at the moment? People need to go, people need to come in?
Yeah. We need it. We need
front three
up, man.
Front 3 and get our players back and get everyone who's injured back in and
we'll change your whole front 3, you say?
Yeah,
not a whole front 3. A 9 and maybe one more other attacker. That's what we need.
Well, an entitled challenge next season, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah, man.
Of course.
Come on, man.
Yeah, we've got three
God.
centre backs. We've got three centre backs coming back fit and a new
Bro,
one.
Kenna, you don't even need to talk to
All
me,
right,
bro.
man.
Leave
All
it to me.
right.
That's it,
bro.
man.
You don't even need to explain.
I'll see you, man, on the other side, bro.
Wow.
Yo.
Still moving prestige from the depths.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
It's
Kenneth,
still going, that's why.
Do you reckon VVD will be back to his best?
Nah, impossible.
If at all?
That's what you, man, are praying for.
No. It's impossible. It's impossible. Like, I think I've said this before. I don't believe I can name 2 or 3 players who have returned to a previous level following the injury he's had. Like in history. In history.
You say this, but I think if he skips the Euros, which will be hard for him to do, but if he skips that, then maybe he will.
No, but I'm going by, let's say, objectively, I'm not even going to expect it. However, VVD at 80% is better than any of our other centre-backs and more centre-backs in the league. So that's how I have to see it. But Shalom, to answer your question, no, not really.
Calvin, as someone that plays football as well, like, do you feel Liverpool maybe have burnt out for how they've just dropped in performance so massively? Or, like, what would you think has been the reason to Liverpool's decline?
Obviously, injuries is a big thing. Like, they have been unfortunate with the injuries they've had. But I think in terms of the front three, it can become stale. Like, you see it at clubs a lot of the time. After the third season, numbers start to tail off a little bit and you need a little freshen up. And I think they had that with Jota originally, but then he got injured. And also, I think other teams, they become aware of your threats and they set certain traps defensively to make things more difficult. I think Liverpool will be back, man. They're going to obviously get Van Dijk back, Gomez back, like what Kenneth said. They're probably going to make some signings in the summer as well to freshen things up. It could be a case of burnout. It could be a case of like teams becoming wiser to their tricks, but Liverpool is still a top side, isn't it? I still think they're going to get top 4 this year. And I think they'll be back next year, man.
I'm loving that objective view from you, Calvin, man. Well done on that, man.
Yeah, you know what? My season's done, innit? So all I can do.
I hear that. Some of these other, man, you get me. I like that.
Nah, listen, Liverpool is still a top side, man. Like, I think they just need, obviously, like, you can't account for the injuries that they've had this season, but there's no doubt in their talent. But like Kenneth said, I think a freshen up. Maybe
I might have to respectfully disagree with you. Sorry, Munya. I might have to respectfully in regards to the injuries because, yes, you can't account for that, and we've had a lot of them. But at the same time, man, the front three, minus Salah, but Mane and Firmino have not stepped up, man. And I think this is where we failed. They have ultimately failed us, in my opinion, when I look at it.
Yeah, they've definitely been below par, 100%, man. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
But like when Jota came in and was doing well, he got injured. So
his injury caused the decline as well. But
yeah,
we'll be back, man.
Cool. Saying this, we'll watch this space. Calvin reckons Liverpool will make top 4. Maybe like Jake said, Leicester will do their end of season bottle, which they did last year, which will really be like asking a lot of questions at Brendan, because obviously if Leicester do fall out the top 4 again, because they were third at one point, and it'd be quite embarrassing, but only time will tell. But yeah, the weather's getting better. Lockdown's easing here. Let's grab some shots, man. Let's get ready for summer. Jake, I know you definitely got a shot this week. What are you telling me?
Yeah, if I were to take all the shots I wanted to this week, we'd have to get the paramedics on standby. So would not be making it out alive. But I will be responsible and take just one, and it's got to be for N'Golo. Like, a lot of Chelsea fans, you go back to, say, even a year ago, I think people were saying, is it time to sell him up? And we finally got him fully fit. We've got him in a system which shows off his qualities. And both man of the match awards against Madrid, the kid is unbelievable. When he's in this form, he has a credible shout at being one of the best, if not the best midfielder in the world. He's just so impactful. Absolutely love the guy, like just as a person, let alone as a player. So I hope he continues.
We know he's a regular list of the pod anyways. United fans, I know you, man, got some shots after this week you've had.
Yeah, boy. I've got a young shot, man. A young what am I shotting today? Maybe a young sort of rosé tequila. For my guy Bruno the shooter Fernandes. I think he's one goal away. Well, he's just equaled a record for the most goals from a midfielder in the Premier League. I think he's just equal 27 from Frank Lampard. So he's obviously one goal away from making history. So yeah, man, I just got to give a quick shout out to him, man. Shooter.
Jeez, Prez?
Yeah, my one is just for this congested fixture list that we found ourselves in over the next sort of 10 days, man. Obviously, it's a lot of fixtures. We only have so many players. And obviously, I know Ole wants to play our strongest teams in every game, but we have to manage each of our key players' loads. And I hope that he gives, some of our players adequate rest. Likes of Paul Pogba, likes of Bruno. Harry Maguire might be out. But yeah, just a vote of confidence and encouragement for my boys for the next 10 days, man. Keep it strong.
Jeez. And I know, some Arsenal fans, it's been a tough week. I know we got some shots, boys.
Yeah, I got a shot lined up, but I need like a Patron or something like that, something a bit stronger. My shot is actually for a man like Bakayo. Obviously, people question his star boy mentality or whatever it is recently, and time again, he proves them wrong. Do you know what? We need to get like a hashtag trending on Twitter. Hashtag Saka doesn't deserve this, because, bro, the way he plays, especially in the game on Sunday, he's head and shoulders above everyone else in the team in creativity. He's more than what people say. People are like, oh, how many goals he scored? Everything goes through him. His awareness, his running.
Well done, man. He's carried you, man, from 10th to 9th.
Yeah, I'm not eyeing anyone else's star boy. I'm just bigging up my star boy. So shout out to Saka. I'm going to take a shot of Patron for him because, again, hashtag Saka doesn't deserve this.
Yeah, I got a shot still. Got to take a shot for Mikel Arteta again. Gonna have to take one of them Greek 70% vodkas you can only find on a Greek island, like them strong things there.
Coronation, saying this.
You understand? Because I said earlier on in the season that I was Arteta in until he digs his own grave. As we all know, he's in the hearse currently. Like he's on the way to the cemetery, man, because he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, man. Like the job is too big for him. Like he's made us unbelievably worse than when he took the job. So there's not really much more left, really. I just don't want to see Arteta come August, man. So yeah, man, he needs to come out of the club, really.
It gets like that. Cool. Some very strong shots there. I think I might have to take that one as well with you, Toss, because I've been trying to defend him, but I don't think I can anymore. As I said at the start of this episode, guys, keep supporting us on the socials. Don't worry, the season may be coming to an end, but we've got a jam-packed load of stuff to share with you guys. The Euro final lineup, obviously end of the season awards, team of the season's over going to be coming out. But yeah, keep showing us love on Spotify, Apple Music, the socials, Insta, Twitter, and like I said at the start, we're doing this YouTube thing, man. So show us some love, like, subscribe, you know the rest. It's Varba, and we out. Peace.
Easy.
Peace and love.
Peace, people.
Hey, Kai.
Like they're going to VAR.